Huge pot at this final table involving the top 2 stacks.
That's such a sick.
Even the young guns on the sideline seem stunned at what's going on.
Let's just chop it up, man.
The winner will be the overwhelming leader at this table.
Good luck, man.
What a moment.
This is a sick pot. Oh my God, thank God I'm not in it.
Tobias looks sick.
Please, one time.
Turn card is another 10. Molson's queen kicker gives him the advantage.
Now, if an 8 or a non-diamond jack comes, they'll chop the pot. If there is a river 7, queen, or diamond, Molson is gone, and Tobias is the huge chip leader. Otherwise, Molson will be the huge chip leader.
Could go either way.
Let's see the river card.
The river card is an ace. Molson seals it with Broadway on the river.
Let's go, baby. Let's go.
Tobias takes another major body blow.
Wow, what a pot that was. Molson in position to improve on his second-place finish last year.
Nice hand.
Once again, said through gritted teeth.
I was trapping. Had to trap. Knew he'd be raising. I had a nice hand. I know.
Remember when Will was trapping? He was a slight underdog in the hand.
We have a chip leader. A new one.
What a sick flop, though.
Molson now the chip leader, while the former lead dog, Tobias Rankemeyer, slumming with the short stacks. The PCA High Roller event brought out some of the biggest names in the game, and on the penultimate day, a stacked field of 24 was left fighting for seats at the final table. When Pokerstars pro Dario Minieri hit the rail, the final 16 were in the money, including a pair of ladies and 2 former world champions. But Greg Raymer's run ended in 13th place.
Good game.
While Joe Cata fell in 11th. And with the elimination of Sandra Nyhus in 9th place by Tobias Rankemeyer, our final table was set. That leaves Lisa Hamilton as the lone female in the game, but being a high-stakes cash game player, she certainly is not a shrinking violet. But she and the rest have to contend with a new chip leader in Will Molson, who just doubled through Rankemeyer.
The only person I didn't want to be in a big pot with, but it had to happen.
You didn't want to?
Well, not with him, because but it had to happen.
At the moment, Tobias not in a real chit-chatty mood.
Yeah, losing most of his stack to Will Molson. One of the other shorter stacks, Baeza lays it down. Folded over to Michiel Brummelhouse from Amsterdam. Looks down at 2 black aces.
Brummelhouse has his own internet company. In English, he says it's called cheap.com, and I think he has the cheapest watch here.
He raised it to $46,000.
I used to have a broken watch, Lana. Of course, it was right twice a day, which actually is pretty good for me.
That's the oldest joke. Lisa Hamilton in the big blind with pocket 9s.
Ouch. Bad time for pocket 9s.
Lisa Hamilton has Brummelhouse covered.
Carolyn.
And raises him all in.
I call.
And a quick call, of course, from Brummelhouse.
Very bad time for pocket 9s.
I need it. One time, come on.
9s are nice, though.
9s are nice, just not when they're up against, say, pocket aces.
Just put it on the flop so I don't have to sweat it.
All right, and there it is, a 9 for Hamilton.
Boy, her wish is the dealer's command, and now Brummelhouse is on the precipice.
2 remaining aces in the deck. In order
Come
to double
on,
through
you can
here.
do it.
The ace is looking for help.
Give him the ace of hearts.
Let's see the turn card.
Turn card is the 8 of hearts. Brummelhouse down to his last card.
He said ace of hearts. Brummelhouse needs an ace, or he is whamboozled.
And the river card is the ace of hearts.
He hits his
called that.
Brummelhouse has life.
Michael is going to double through. He's not out of here.
Hamilton is crushed.
His all-in was $346,000.
Brummelhouse will stick around.
What a ride that hand was for him.
And this is a big chip transfer.
The Dutch player puts a hurt on Hamilton.
I know how he's thinking. He's always here. Always on my.
Now we can play again.
Oh, yeah, we can play again for real now.
Indeed, Brummelhouse has some room to play. He's second in chips now. Let's look at the leaderboard. Molson in command with a 1,000,000 chip lead over Brummelhouse. Reynolds in third, Hamilton down to fourth, while the top 2 stacks coming into the table are now on the bottom. Rankemeyer, now the second short stack, a far cry from his position as chip leader. Action on Lisa Hamilton, who was also, until recently, near the top of the leaderboard.
Hate not having chips.
She's got to lay down 6-5 of spades.
She can only blame Elke. He talked her into this tournament.
That's true. Over to Brummelhouse now. 9-8 off on the button.
Well, now that he has chips, he said he was going to play. And it looks like he does want to splash around here.
47,000. Hey, that's Molson's favorite number. On Will Molson in the small blind. Ace-Jack of hearts. He's got a new favorite number, it looks like. He's announced his raise.
70,000 more.
70,000 more.
He's such a polite aggressor.
He's Canadian. They're nice people. To Rankemeyer in the big blind. Ace-King of diamonds.
Molson had a big hand in the small blind. Tobias with a bigger hand in the big blind.
I'm all in.
And he 4-bets all in. Brummelhouse lays it down.
You count.
It would be for about 20% of Molson's stack.
Tens or nines.
If he thinks he's in a race, he's definitely going to call.
Probably a face king.
Well, he's put him on the right hand.
I really hope he's not calling light. Come on, Will.
Yeah, I have to call.
Well, they played a pot worth 2 million chips earlier. Almost $1 million in the middle here. Another big moment.
Suited in hearts for
Well, even if he loses here, Molson would retain the chip lead. You know, even if he put him on ace-king, in terms of pot odds, it's not that bad of a call. Molson's getting about 2-1 on his money with a chance to knock out another player, and Will's just a little more than a 2-1 dog in the hand.
The flop trade deuce. Rankemeyer with a flush draw.
Well, that's a great flop for Rankemeyer. Molson's about to make him healthy again.
Turn card is a diamond, and the flush comes through. Molson and friends are drawing dead. Rankemeyer doubles into second place.
Yes, on. Thanks.
Will Molson still leads this final table, but his margin for error is pretty thin now, with Tobias Rankemeyer right on his tail.
The North American Poker Tour, presented by Pokerstars.net.
I thought he might have like tens, maybe like...
Tens at worst. It was a fold. But anyways, regroup.
Welcome back to Atlantis and the NAPT at the PCA. Will Molson getting some friendly counseling from his buddies, but he is still the chip leader. He's got a 400,000 chip cushion over second place Rankemeyer. Let's take a look at the chips right now. Lisa Hamilton and Adolfo Baeza are the short stacks, but it has pretty much been the Molson-Rankemeyer show so far. Molson started near the top, slid to the bottom, and then raced back to the top again, not unlike 4 Pokerstars team pros who were recently involved in a very different kind of race. Paradise Island in the Bahamas is the place for fun in the sun. But not today. As the wind howls and the temperatures drop, 4 poker players are ready to face off against each other and their fears on the Atlantis Challenger slide. But before they raced each other, it was time for a practice run.
I'm just gonna make sure I'm not scared.
I'm feeling scared. I don't like heights. Pretty scared, actually. It's pretty chilly up here.
Victor Randon, though, may need a little more practice than the others. But after Victor made it to the pool, it was off to the races.
Ready? Go!
Yeah!
Havad needs a swimwear consultant.
We went down before they said go!
I don't know what he's talking about. We went at the same time.
Kata was jobbed.
Bulldoze is going down.
Victor thinks he won it.
I think Havad won.
You're right. The photo finish shows Havad Khan is the champion. Well, Norman, a tough loss for Victor there, but I'm sure he's already back on the slides training for the next time there's a race. All right, we are six-handed at this competition. A little more at stake. Almost $600,000 to the champion. Folded over to Tobias Rankemeyer. What a ride he's been on today. He's got pocket queens on the button.
Yeah, it's been a dark day at this final table for him. That double up against Will Molson, the first sunshine he's seen.
A raise to 40,000. Over to Lisa Hamilton with a king.
Boy, Lisa's body language tells you she's low on chips.
And a 6. And from the Barca Lounger, she folds over to Adolfo Baeza in the big blind. Jack 7 of clubs.
He owns a construction company that paints roads.
He announces raise.
We've seen him defend his weak jack before.
All in.
Oh, my.
I call.
And Rankemeyer calls to put Baeza at risk.
With 16 big blinds left, Baeza attacks. The amateur has played Jack 6, Jack 10, now Jack 7 from the blind.
Baeza's friends are nervous. Leo Fernandez shared the London High Roller final table with Adolfo. Rankemeyer trying to knock off the man from Montevideo.
8, 9, 10. 8.
8, 9, 5, 2 clubs. Suddenly Baeza, the favorite with flush and straight draws.
Maybe he paints roads that are only paved with gold, and I believe they all lead to his driveway.
Talk about sweat, my God.
New life at the table.
A double gutter street.
No bad. No bad.
Veronica DeBull likes what she sees.
And Tobias is thinking, this can't be happening.
Turn card is another 5. That's no help to Baeza.
Tobias still not happy, but he's reestablished control of the hand.
A 10, please.
Baeza needs a 10, a 6, or any club, or he is gone.
It's not bad.
And the river card is a club, and Baeza makes his flush and his straight to double up.
Even Tobias couldn't say nice hand this time.
Thank you, my friend.
Not that easy blind there.
Adolfo, no stranger to the big pressure. He finished 4th at that London High Roller final table. But for Tobias at his first major final table, things aren't going so well after that Adolfo double up. Welcome back to Atlantis and this PCA High Roller final table. Adolfo Baeza still smiling after that last double up through Tobias Rankemeyer, who was again looking a bit queasy. Price of poker is up. The blinds at 12 and 24,000 with a 2,000 ante. William Reynolds looks down at ace 10.
I wore that exact jacket to a bar mitzvah when I was 13, Lon, and got Mindy Herman's phone number.
A raise from Reynolds to 57,000. Brummelhouse will not play. Will Molson lays it down.
Boy, these guys look too serious and too good for me.
Rankemeyer with queen deuce. And he'll sit this one out. In the small blind, Lisa Hamilton. Ace Trey.
Now then.
And she moves all in for 327,000.
Hamilton with about 13 big blinds left.
Folded back to him.
Remember, Hamilton pushed Reynolds off the better hand pre-flop earlier with a re-raise.
Lisa looking very comfortable with her decision. That's Will's phone going off.
Maybe it's Mindy Herman.
This isn't going to kill my hand, is it? I silence it?
There is a no talking on the phone policy at the final table.
No one else call me.
Lisa doesn't want to call either. Maybe it's a sign. If someone calls you at the table, you should call your opponent.
Laying one down.
And William has it down.
Nope, it's a sign to Reynolds to fold. And Will buckles one more time under Lisa's pressure.
Just wanted to scream out call.
And Lisa would have screamed out a different word.
A somewhat conservative laydown by Reynolds to Hamilton there, but if you look at the VPIP through the first 48 hands, Reynolds has been the most active player today.
Remember, VPIP measures chips that are voluntarily put into the pot. An average player usually hovers between 23 and 27%. Reynolds at 38%, pushing his chips out at a pretty good clip.
Will Molson you saw with a smaller VPIP than Reynolds, but perhaps more effective as he sits here at the final table as the chip leader. Ace-10 offsuit.
He had only 10 big blinds going into heads up against Elke last year at this high roller event. Tough to beat Elke with only 10 big blinds.
Tough to beat Elke anytime. Molson raises it up to 58,000. Rankemeyer with rags to Lisa Hamilton now with a 9.
9 and what?
Ace.
Thank you.
Lisa casually folds. Baeza lays it down to William Reynolds in the big blind. King, queen of spades.
I used to have a head of hair like that.
He picked up live game experience by traveling to countries that allow younger gaming, like the Bahamas, and he's doing a pretty good job. He calls for Queen Ace all hearts, Molson with a pair of aces and a flush draw, Reynolds with a pair of queens.
A little something for both of them to like, but Molson in command.